The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guest do not reflect those of the host, the show, the management, and the network.
You expired, O Jesus, but the source of life gushed forth for souls, and an ocean of mercy opened up for the whole world. O fount of life, unfathomable divine mercy, envelop the whole world and empty yourself out upon us. O blood and water, which gushed forth from the heart of Jesus as a fount of mercy for us, I trust in you. O blood and water, which gushed forth from the heart of Jesus as a fount of mercy for us, I trust in you. O blood and water, which gushed forth from the heart of Jesus as a fount of mercy for us, I trust in you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Holy Wednesday, and as part of our episode for this afternoon at the hour of 3, um, we will be discussing about, or we will be we will be walking you through the 7 Jubilee churches in the Diocese of Imus. We will first start with the discussion, quite a bit, a discussion of what a pilgrimage is, and for those who are familiar, and those who are, especially this season, we're doing a lot of pilgrimages, and many people hold this during the Holy Week. So, what is a pilgrimage? It came from the Latin word pellegrinus, or from abroad. So imagine if you are having a plan to visit the Camino de Santiago. This is well visited places of pilgrimage places in the world. Sa Spain po, no, the what you call Camino de Santiago, also the Our Lady of Lourdes in France, and Fatima in Portugal. So these are popular places of pilgrimage, also in the Holy Land. So you go abroad. Pero we can make the pilgrimage local. So we can just go to a certain place, a certain church, or a holy place, a shrine, and you can actually do this what we call pilgrimage without flying to the other country. So a pilgrimage is a sacred journey. It is a spiritual exercise. And hindi lang po tayo mga Katoliko ang naggagawa ng pilgrimage. So we have the Islam, they do the pilgrimage in Mecca or in Medina. Once a year, they go there. And for us Catholics and Christians, we hold pilgrimages most especially during the Lenten season. So it's a sacred journey. Why? Because we travel. We may also walk. Or in the past, we walk actually. We do the walking. Pero ngayon, because we have good transportation system, so, and we also have, we can rent a car or we can rent a van or a bus. And this is already, a pilgrimage is already easy this period, no, this time for us, dahil we have a wide network of roads na. So we can go places actually. So pipiliin natin, where do we go? No, what particular place? So depende yan sa iyong mood, no? Also, halimbawa, if you're a Marian devotee, you would choose a Marian church, no? Or if you are a devotee of a certain saint, you will go to the churches dedicated to this specific saint. So it depends upon you. And this is a spiritual journey because you do something like you pray, uh, you appreciate the design of the church, you appreciate being with people and telling stories about life, no? So this is also a way of what's this? A way of reflecting, no? You at the same time travel. This is the journey of the soul back to its source. So what is this source? Our source is, of course, from God the Father. We are just travelers here on earth, but where is our home? Our home is in the Father, up in heaven. So how do we go to the source? We visit special places, holy places dedicated for the saints, for Mary, for Jesus. So these are holy places that we can actually go and visit. So it is actually going to the source. Our soul is uniting. We do a certain thing of called union with God in these places. We unite with them, with particular saints, or with Jesus, or with whom we would like to communicate spiritually. This is also to set aside time to embark on a sacred journey, to embrace an ancient path to purification by stepping outside ordinary time in God's time. Ano ibig sabihin nun, no? If we are used to just going to places, halimbawa beach, resorts, Enchanted Kingdom, or Disneyland. So yon, for the ano lang yan, benefit of the physical body, yung pleasure ng flesh, no? The pleasure of yung person mismo, no? Yung sarili natin, no? Because we are delighted by those things. Pero when we visit places which are important to our soul, which places which would nourish our soul, then we embark on this journey that purifies us. Lalo na halimbawa, if you do sacrifice, like for example, when you do the Camino de Santiago, you walk 1,000 kilometers. This is a great sacrifice. Imagine walking thousands, 1,000 kilometers, or even 500 kilometers. No? It is a very difficult thing to do, pero we do this because we want to yung mga nakakaranas nito, I haven't experienced Camino, but it is one of my goals. But before I leave the earth, I want to go to the Camino, no. But the joy, the feeling of having achieved your goal of going to the Camino, kung saang-saang ano, no, saang-saang kang may mga routes kasi yan, no. And all those people who are going there, yung feeling nila, kahit hindi sila po very spiritual people, they are being sort of converted, no, na-rejuvenate sila, na-nourish yung soul. They have very different experiences na people who are not, usually visiting churches, pero they go there. Their lives are being changed because of that pilgrimage. Next slide, please. So pilgrimages invite us to ponder the deeper questions of life, no? Bakit ka nandito? Why we are here? Where are we headed? How do we get there? No, this is actually Ignatian spirituality. And when we go to a pilgrimage, hindi lang yan dapat parang gala, no? For others, gala lang ito, no? But dapat yung sarili mo, your soul, you prepare your soul for this journey. And then make this a time for you to think, to reflect. Ano na bang nangyari sa akin? You go back. Why is this thing happening? Because when you go into the deeper silence of your soul, you find something else. Nagkakaroon ka ng illumination, yung kaliwanagan. Things that you do not see the normal way, things you do not see the usual way, kasi masyado kang stress sa trabaho, you are doing a lot of things na puro of this world, no? And you forget many things about your soul. Kapag yung buhay mo, susun na yung problema mo, no? There's something lacking in you, you feel that emptiness, and then it is a wonderful time, no? To embark on the journey. And doon, you will see, why am I here? What is my purpose here? What is my mission? Is there anything that I need to do for the rest of my life? Lalo na to those people who are already reaching the end of the line, no? Malamang kasi it is because nasa retiring age na sila, no? And then they are done with yung mga nitty-gritty ng mga physical world, yung paghahanap buhay, the business, settling the family, no? So kapag natapos na yon, the kids have already graduated, they have their own family, no? This is the time for older people really to see or to check their soul. Saan pa ba ako patungo? Ano pa ba ang pwede kong gawin? Next slide. It's the prayerful intention that transforms a mere trip into a pilgrimage. So minsan lang, no, nag-travel ka lang, no? Pwedeng your travel is really for the benefit of for your yung satisfaction of your desire lang, no, para makagala lang, no. But when you pass by a certain church halimbawa, no, nakita mo lang siya, uy, punta tayo doon, daan tayo doon, and then you enter that door of the church, you pray a little. So yung isang simpleng biyahe, a mere trip, an ordinary trip, it becomes a pilgrimage kasi you find something else. Actually, kahit hindi nga sa isang simbahan, kahit on top of the mountain, no? Yun isang magandang pilgrimage. I mean, Jesus, hindi naman siya nagpupunta lamang sa mga temples, no? Jesus, when he would retreat, saan siya pupunta? Sa bundok, no? He would go to a mountain. Mas mataas, no? May escalation. So parang symbolical, no? Kasi when you go up, saan ba papunta yun, no? Kasi heaven is up, no? Hindi naman pababa. So when you search for your soul, halimbawa yung mga mountaineers, they can go on a pilgrimage on top of the mountain and they experience something, no, that they haven't experienced, no? You will ask them anong napapala nila when they hike, no? Lalo na doon sa mga matataas na summit, no? Iba yung nila, no? Iba yung nararamdaman nila at iba yung nangyayari sa buhay nila. So pilgrims hold a holy intention before their hearts. So each step of the journey is an opportunity to ponder deeper mysteries. So halimbawa, you go to a pilgrimage, no? You go to a pilgrimage, meron kang gusto mong gumaling, your intention is if you are sick, you want to be healed, so you go to a pilgrimage, you go halimbawa to the national shrine of the Divine Mercy, and then you will say, Halimbawa po sa Divine Mercy na lang, na Divine Mercy Church namin dito sa Biluso, many people go on a pilgrimage. Hindi po yung pilgrimage na alam natin, but they are actually on a pilgrimage, no? They go to the church and they experience healing. That's why they go back, kasi they experience healing upon entering. Yun palang pagpasok pa lang sa pinto, they already feel a certain feeling na they are already healed. All right, next. So, we are actually, nasa ano pa tayo, no? Nasa 500 years pa rin tayo of our celebration. It's the quincentennial commemoration for the arrival of Christianity in the Philippines. So, nasa 500 years tayo. Now, yung the Pope, no? Meron siyang proclamation ba ang tawag doon, no? So, binigyan tayo ng opportunity for us to enjoy our 500 years ng Christianity, which started yung pag-arrive in 1521. So, meron tayo actually na Jubilee churches na tinatawag. And sa Philippines, meron tayong all over the Philippines, there are actually, next slide, 500 Jubilee churches around the Philippines na pwede nating bisitahin. So, everywhere you are, tingnan nyo lang, i-google nyo lang saang mga simbahan ako pwedeng magpunta na dedicated for this 500 years. So, what we call the Jubilee churches. In the Diocese of Imus, we have 12 Jubilee churches. Hindi natin napuntahan yung 12 Jubilee churches, but we narrowed it down. Usually, ang pilgrimage naman po, no? 7 churches. So, briefly, ipakita lang natin kung ano yung mga 7 Jubilee churches na pupuntahan natin today. So, our first stop is at St. Michael the Archangel Parish Church in Bacoor, Cavite. And then, St. Mary Magdalene Parish Church in Kawit. The third is in the Diocesan Shrine of Our Lady of the Most Holy Rosary in Rosario. Fourth stop is in St. Augustine, the Diocesan Shrine of St. Augustine in Tanza. And then the Diocesan Shrine of Our Lady of Immaculate Conception in Naik. So mga shrines ito, no, sa diocese. And then Our Lady of the Assumption Church in Maragondon. And then sa 7th church natin, sa St. Gregory the Great Parish Church in Indang, Cavite. So 7 churches which we chose. Actually, dito sa Silang, we have already 2. Kaya lang, hindi na namin sila isinama yung 2 Jubilee churches ng Silang because we often, no, we can easily go there anytime. So we just chose outside Silang area. So we have 2 in Silang, in La Salette, and then also our mother church, yung Nuestra Señora de Candelaria, yung diocesan shrine din yan. So when we embark on this pilgrimage, because we are in the 500 quincentennial celebration, lahat po ng mga Jubilee churches na ating papasukin, meron pong tinatawag na Porta Sancta or Holy Door. So ano tong Holy Door? So when you go there, doon kayo dadaan. No? Wag doon minsan kasi hindi yung main entrance ang Holy Door. So minsan nasa kabilang gilid. So you look for the Holy Door ng specific church. Now, what is a Holy Door? From John 10, verse 9, I am the door. Those who will come to me will be saved. So parang yung door is just a representation, no? Portal, no? Parang pupunta ka to the other world. Because you are embarking on a spiritual journey, you do not go to a physical place. Physical lang po yan, but when you go to that door, you have to change your consciousness. It is timeless and it has no space. It is spiritual. So you enter that door because when you cross that door, you go to another dimension. Kaya lang, no, it takes a lot of yung consciousness kasi for those who are not very serious in the pilgrimage, para ka lang pumapasok sa ordinary door. But if you are really, you are really concentrating on what you are doing, you're very serious in it, and you are meditating, as you enter that door, you will already experience going to something else. Life should be moving forward towards Christ. closer to Jesus. So pag pumasok ka doon, your intention is to meet Jesus, not to meet anyone. So minsan kahit wala kang kasamang kakilala, but your focus is Jesus, you do not mind doing a pilgrimage without anyone else. You enter that door, and upon entering that door, no, lalo na kung may misa, you do certain rituals pa. Let's go to the next slide. Upon entering that door, second, when you enter that holy door, the Porta Sancta teaches us to do mission. So pumunta ka doon, pero what is it? No, you are meditating, you are contemplating, you are thinking of what else to do in your life. So you have to think, ano pa bang pwede kong gawin? That is exactly mission. If you are a Divine Mercy devotee, you have chosen to be a devotee to the Divine Mercy, you definitely have a mission. And one of the missions that we can do is to spread the message of the Divine Mercy devotion, yung messages and devotion. So pwede mong gawin, ano pa ba? Paano ko pa ba i-level up yung aking devotion to the Divine Mercy? So it can be one of your reflection points in going or entering the Porta Sancta. Especially, again, the quincentennial celebration natin, we are gifted to give. We received it freely. So we have to give it freely. What we receive, kailangan ibigay din natin. Kasi, halimbawa, you keep on praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet every day, pero wala kang action. You're just praying, not even praying for other things, kundi personal lang laging intention. So, you have to level up. When you do the pilgrimage, you have to make sure that your soul is leveling up, hindi nagre-retrograde. And you think, what is your mission as a Divine Mercy devotee? This should be one of the challenges sa mga Divine Mercy devotees. Next. Okay. So, meron tinatawag na plenary indulgence. Ano ba yung plenary indulgence? It is the remission of our sins, including the temporal punishment. So, halimbawa, may kasalanan tayo, no? Which we also do kasi parang quote-unquote normal sa atin, lagi talaga tayo nagkakasala, lagi nating dinudumihan sa sarili natin. When we commit even the slightest sin, we are putting a speck in our soul, na may mga dot, no, na napupunta sa soul natin, and the more sins we do, the greater the speck, so nagiging itim, no? Nagkakaroon ng gray hanggang maging itim na yung kaluluwa natin. That means we need to do a lot of cleansing. And one way to cleanse our soul is through entering into the door, the holy door, the Pilgrim Churches. And of course, merong apat, no, para ma-attain, so that we would attain the plenary indulgence. One is to make the confession. Okay, so confess all your sins. Maganda na magawa ito, no? And then pangalawa, you take the communion in that order ito, no? Confession muna bago communion. You do not take the host muna and then you confess. So it has to be confession first before communion. Why? Because when you confess, you cleanse your soul, no? That way, you become worthy of being one or uniting with Jesus through the Holy Communion. So, lagi pong mauna ang confession and then the communion. And then you pray the Pope's intention. If you do not know the Pope's intention, okay na po yung Our Father, Hail Mary, and Glory be. Okay na po yun, no? But for this month, ang Pope's intention for this month ay for the healthcare workers all around the world, no? Especially in poor countries. Yun ang Pope's intention that we can pray for this month of April. And then the fourth one is you have to be detached from sin, even venial sin. So kaya maganda, you do this sunod-sunod. Kasi baka you confess yesterday, tas ngayon ka mag-communion, and in the span of 24 hours, you have already committed a lot of or some sins, no? May mga nakomit na tayong sins, so madumi ka na uli. Kaya mas maganda, para dire-diretso ka, you confess, you do the communion, para detach ka talaga from sin. And do that kapag, maganda, ini-schedule mo talaga yung pilgrimage mo. You check if there is an ongoing confession in the church para makapag-confess ka before you take the communion. Okay, so yun yung plenary indulgence na makukuha natin when the plenary indulgence, when we visit any of these over 500 Jubilee churches around the country. Okay, so now we will take you to the 7 Jubilee churches that we visited on April 4, 2022. So join us in visiting and entering into their respective holy door in the Diocese of Imus. Imus is in Cavite province. Let's watch the video.
Ito yung mga Jubilee churches na ating pupuntahan. So sa ating paglalakbay, ito yung ating susundan. No? Ayan. So yung ating una ngayon ay St. Michael Parish. Bababa naman si Father Temi Lumandas. Yun ang pura paroko ngayon. Tapos ito yung mga test. Okay. So tapos pupunta tayo magtutungo sa Jubilee Door bago pumasok sa loob ng ay basahin ang tema na nakalaan sangayon kung pang ilang simbahan na ito. Dapat doon tayo sa harapan. Mamaya. Okay, magpapatata. Tapos kapag nakarating na sa ikapitong simbahan, na bisita at napatata ka ng mission cross, yung inyong passport. Ayan. So meron daw tayong mission cross na makukuha. Yung kasi laki ng pasa ng Nazareno doon sa Biblia.
Sorry. Kumusta na kayo? Ito parokya ko ay hindi mga 270 years yung Paris election. So, nadala po sa labas yung po ni Father Mariano Gomez, yung Mass. Hindi rin po ako nagkaganyan. Tapos isang matagal na kampana na hindi na nagagamit for ilan-ilan na rin ay may nagpagawa. Hindi po ako. Mahal po yun. So, may nagpagawa. Ano yung ginagamit? Ay palang ginagamit ni Father Mariano, ginadala sa mga lugar na mayroong pestilence, sa mayroong kaya itong COVID-19, tugtog na tugtog yan. Kasi ba pinapalayas yung pandemya. Kaya yun po. Tapos, isa pa rin, ito po achievement halos ni Father Mel, tinuloy ko lang. Nilalakad nila ni Father Mel noon na i-recognize katulad na sila bilang isang i-recognize ng National Historical Commission of the Philippines. Na-recognize na po. At pagkatapos po, hindi lang po yung blessing noon. Yun na nagkaroon ako ng 150 years market down ng Gombursa. So pinagdiwan po namin dito, kasabay ng City of Bacoor. At ang isa pa na maganda, yung recognition po ng National Historical Commission of the Philippines, may sakuan naman, sumabay naman yung National Museum. Kaya ito po yung tanda na nilagay nila dyan, simbahan ng Bacoor. So recognize na rin po ito ng National Museum. Bakit ito na-recognize? Para naman 270 years old lang naman. Ito ba na-recognize ang pumunang dahilan kay Father Mariano Gomez. Si Father Mariano Gomez po ay 18 years, kung di ba nagkakamali, dito Paris Place. At sa panahon po niya, itinayo itong simbahan. Itinayo itong simbahan. At yun nga po, naging ano siya, naging martir ng ating hindi lamang ng simbahan, kundi naging martir ng ating bansa, naging martir siya. Yung iba-iba po mga yung kasama niya, Burgos at Zamora, may kanya-kanya silang mga lugar. Ano? Samantala si Padre Mariano, walang ibang lugar na makakasabing ano yan. So ito po ang kinilala ng ating National Museum at sa ating National Historical Commission na kaya kinikilala. Kaya po pag may linggo, hindi na ako natatakot. Kasi po, katulad sa Kubon, recognize nila, nung nagkaroon ng linggo at bumagsak ang maraming simbahan, pinagawa, binigyan ng pondo. Tapos kami po ay nag-a-apply sa Congress ng pondo. Halit lang po kasi kung tayo diba, 100 million ang kanya doon. Dito po, 50 million lang kami. Ito po ay para sa restoration, reconstruction, at saka sa site development. So ito po yung pinanyo may parang saka meron na ito mga pitak-pitak sa labas. So papayos po yan. Nintay lang namin yung fund sa fund. Ang pinakaano po ay ang gusto na ay maging katulad ninyo, maging diocesan shrine. Talagang ang pangunahin binubuo, hindi naman simbahan ito. Ang binubuo ng binubuo ay ang simbahan tao. Kapag ang simbahan tao, ang siya bubuo ng simbahan ito.
So, muna natin gagawin dito sa pagdalo sa ay yung pagninilay sa mga Diyos. So, po, so number 1 tayo. Sabi ni Jesus, ako ang pintuan, ang sino mang tao pumasok sa akin, siya'y maliligtas, at papasok at lalabas, at magasusumpong ng pastulan. Sa pagpasok sa pinto ng dileyo, magpangkol at magpaakay tayo kay Jesus, tungo sa buhay ng may pagkalima sa kalooban ng Diyos. Ito ang ating mga konkretong pagkilos, hindi man ngayon, o yung iba, pero ngayon pwede natin bumisita sa sambahin si Jesus sa banal na sakramento, alalahanin ang mga nagawang pagkakasala ng isa. Sumimba sa darating na linggo, magdasal kasama ang buong pamilya, pagbabahagi ng kasama ang isang kapamilya, kaibigan, ang salita ng Diyos.
Alright, so that is our first stop. Yun po yung ating first stop, no? Maybe pause the video first. Alright. So yung first stop natin is the Parish Church of Saint Michael the Archangel in Bacoor. So Bacoor is nasa ano na to, no, bungad ng Metro Manila, papuntang Metro Manila. Very near. For those who are in Metro Manila, you can visit the parish very easily. Now, this is, again, 270 years pa lang the church, no? But it is already recognized as one of the national, by the National Historical Commission as one of the treasures, ano nga ba to? Tama ba? No? Treasures ng ating bansa. Isang cultural treasure, ng historical treasure ng ating bansa. That's why nabigyan sila ng budget from the government para sa restoration. Now, what have we learned from this church? Ako, for one, no, and I will also ask you, sino yung very important, he was the reason why this church was recognized as one of the treasures. Sino ang naging dahilan? May we have comments from our from those who are watching with us? Sige po, kung napakinggan ninyo, sino po ang pare, isang martir na pare sa ating kasaysayan, the martyr priest in our history, kilalang-kilala ng lahat, no, na naging bahagi ng simbahang ito. Dito po siya nagpastol for a very long time. Dun sa research ko, 48 years. May we see people, if you have been watching intently, sino uli sa Saint Michael? Anyone watching us right now? May we see your comments? Teka, ang bilis nun. Okay. Yan, si Sister Christy. Yes, I know her. She's from Silang. Si Father Mariano Gomez. Yung famous Gombursa, no? Yung tatlong pare na, yan, si Marilyn Salvador. Correct po, si Father Gomez. Siya po ang naging pare dito for 48 years. Nag-ano dito, no? Siya ang nagtayo, nagpastol ng mahabang panahon sa lugar na ito. You will notice na itong church na to ay yung architectural design later later ating i-discuss yan, but most of the designs are ng mga simbahan ay baroque yung tawag, no, baroque yung architectural design. And also itong simbahan na ito na matatagpuan natin sa Bacoor ay ano tawag dito, under reconstruction, sabi nga ni Father Temi, And now also, mapapansin nyo, yung tagpuan at the very start ng pilgrimage, no? I don't know if this is the same in other dioceses, but in the Diocese of Imus, ang tawag natin dito ay tagpuan. So, para maging maganda yung inyong pilgrimage, you go to the first church, and sa first church na bibisitahin nyo, you get that very big passport na pinakita kanina ni Father Eric na merong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, doon sa passport na yon, tatatakan nyo sa number 1, papatatakan nyo doon sa respective church na pinuntahan nyo yung bilog doon. Patunay, parang sa passport, di ba, ini-stamp yung passport natin. Patunay that you have visited that church. So, isa yon, no, sa gagawin natin sa 7 simbahan, magpatatak ng ating malaking passport. Now, we go to the next church.
So yung parokya ay apat na daang taon sa 2024. Kasi 1624 nang siya ay ma-establish bilang parokya. At ang unang patron ay Mahal na Birhen ng Loreto. Kaya lang dahil nung panahon na yon, ang simbahan ay nakaharap. O ganun pa rin naman, nakaharap dapat to sa dagat. Kaya lang ang dagat ay natabunan, lumiit. Kaya naging ordinary road. Yung dati ang kanilang principal road, national road. Kaya mapapansin nyo ito mamaya sa harapan, kung makakalabas tayo, mayroong imahen doon sa labas, yung nakakortina, yun yung matandang imahen. Dati doon nakalagay. Kaya lahat ng maglalayag, lahat ng nagbabangka, barko, iyan ang nagiging parang lighthouse ng araw. At dahil nga ito ay daungan din ng barko, yung labas, ibig sabihin, marami din bar. Maraming nagtitinda ng aliw sa mga marino. Kaya sabi nila, hindi sa maging kawa ng mga tupay, nagiging kawa ng mga kambing. Kaya ipinalit nilang patrona ay si Santa Maria Magdalena. Yung dati, nakalagay doon, kaya lang for security reason, yung maligo na tanong, iginawa na ng altar dito. So sa ikalawang simbahan, tayo ay inaanyayahan na maging makatao. Sapagkat ang anumang ginawa ninyo sa pinakahamak sa mga kapatid ko nito ay ginawa ninyo sa akin. Niyakap ni Jesus ang ating pagkatao at ay ating nababanaagan sa bawat tao ating nakakasalamuha. Nakikilala ba natin siya sa mukha ng ating kapwa? Ang mga konkretong pagkilos sa manalangin laban sa pagkabastahan sa karapatang pagtao, yakapin ang mahal sa buhay, magbigay ng magandang salita sa social media, huwag magpakalat o kaya ay labanan ng fake news, kamustahin ang kaibigan at kamag-anak na matagal nang hindi nakikita. Ihati ngayong pagnilayan ang ikatlo at ika-apat na istasyon ng Diyos. Ito yung pisikal, hindi ng pagkatao, kamatayan, hindi ng ating katawan, kung hindi ng ating kaluluwa. Hingi natin ang biyaya na maging matatag.
Okay. Let's pause again for a while. I don't know if my signal is still strong, no? Pero parang humihina ang cells. Pardon for that. Now, for the second church, ano po yung natutunan nyo from this church? I will ask one question. Sino yung patrona? Who is the patron saint? Ang tagagabay sa parokyang ito sa Kawit na naging dahilan. Ang naging dahilan ay sapagkat malapit sila, they are very near the port, no? Malapit yan sa dagat, and there's a lot of seamen na dumadaong dito, and there were a lot of anong tawag doon? I hate to say baka mali ang sabihin ko, no? But those who are selling what's this? Nagbebenta ng aliw, pero there's a better term for them. No? So, naging patron saint nila. Who is their patron saint? Sa Kawit Church. Sino po? Let's see. Medyo delay lang yung ating no? Yung kahit na na-type nyo na yan, there's still a delay. So, let's wait for a while. So, who is the patron saint of this church in Kawit? Because she was chosen for being related to that form of profession. It was actually a profession. Hindi lang siya isang isang simpleng Okay. From Mirna Marina Casison, she said, her answer is Mary Magdalene. Yes, sapagkat maraming Marino according to Father Eric. Father Eric, by the way, is from Kawit, Cavite, no? Kaya very familiar siya. He's very familiar with the history of the church, which will turn 400 years, sabi niya, no, in 2024. Okay, so balikan natin. This pilgrimage is called Tagpuan. You will notice at the end of the journey in each church, tatatakan, no? You saw Father Eric stamping our big passport, no? Yung malaking passport natin. And then, also, when we do the visit in a particular church, hitting two birds, no? Sabi niya, hitting two birds. So, we visit the church and we do the Station of the Cross. So, because there are 7 churches, we we do 2 stations in each church. Now, if you would like to go to Kawit sa Saint Mary Magdalene Parish, alam niyo po ang pinaka unique with this church dun sa kanilang parokya is the celebration on the eve of Christmas. So December 24, they hold the very popular Maitinis Festival. So Pasko po, if you have time, ako nanghihinayang kasi I would visit, I would have one simbang gabi in Kawit, pero I never had any experience in attending the Maitinis kasi sa church medyo busy. No, but this is a very popular festival, napaka-engrande. The entire altar ng simbahan po kino-convert nila. As in kino-convert, mawawala yung mga retablo, no. Iko-convert nila into a big stage. Ito yung kanilang version of Belen manger. So may yan, no, may mga life size mga images, and then before going to the Belen on the 24th, meron pa silang kinakanta nila, no, yung kumakanta sila, and then meron mga float at ikinukwento yung history from the birth, from yung mismong history na makikita natin sa Bible. So inaano nila yan, yung bawat float may theme about a specific timeline in the Bible. Tapos it would lead to the Belen, which is set up sa mismong altar nila. It's a very if you go there, ang bongga-bongga ng kanilang yung Belen, the biggest Belen actually sa lahat ng mga churches na pwede nating makita. So Maitinis Festival, if you would like to go to Kawit on the eve of Christmas, punta po kayo doon. All right. So we go to the next church.
Pagdating po sa pang-diocese na Dambana, parokya ng Mahal ng Santisimo Rosario, Reina de Caracol, kay sa ang pura paroko na si Father Wed April, at ang aming katuwang na pari na si Father Wed Nazareno. Maligayang pagdating ho at tuloy po kayo sa aming Dambana. Ang aming parokya, ang aming Dambana ay meron pong porta santa. Itong porta santa ay yung pinasukan ng kanilang pinto. Ito ay binuksan noong October 22, 2019 bilang bahagi ng pagdiriwang ng 175 taong pagkakaroon ng aming parokya. At ito po ay binigyan ng ating kagalagang obispo at ng Pope Francis ng 20 months na pagdiriwang ng Indonesian Plenaria na sinumang papasok sa Porta Santa simula October 22 hanggang May 20, 2021. Ito rin po sinaraduhan noong May 22, nung po natapos yung 175 po ng parokya at pinuksan ulit para po sa 500 years of Christianity po bilang sa Pilgrim Churches.
So ang buhay ay galing sa Panginoon. Tayo'y katiwala ng buhay na ito. Pinahalagahan ko ba ang buhay? Nakaloob sa akin ng Diyos. So, mga ilang konkretong bagay na dapat natin pagsikapan gawin o mag-ehersisyo at magpapawis ng katawan. Unang-una, ipon challenge, mag-ipon para may maibigay sa kapwa. Gawin ang tamang paghuhugas ng kamay bago kumain at kamustahin ang isang kasama sa bahay at kumain ng masusustansyang pagkain.
Sapagkat sa pamamagitan ng iyong anak pusa, iniligtas mo ang sanlibutan.
habang ang krus ay kanyang pasuntosan. Sa buhay ng tao, ang hirap at sakit na pinagdaraanan ay laging kalamay ang ating ina.
Right? Let's have a quick wrap of the previous church, the third church that we visited. For easy recall, again, I will ask a question. Ano ang tawag natin sa patron? How do we call the Blessed Virgin Mother, who is the patron saint of this, the diocesan shrine in this place in Rosario, Cavite? How do we call them? And this is actually a type of dance we do on the street, and even fluvial, no, sa dagat at sa lupa. They do this sa dagat at sa lupa because they are very near the sea, sa dagat. And then upon landing on the soil, they would also do this type of prayer and dance, which we also do in several other places. How do we call it? What do we call this? And how do we call the Blessed Virgin Mary in that, in Rosario? Let's see if you have. Okay, let's see. Any answer? Let's wait. There's a delay again. Sayang, iba naman yung sumagot, no? So we know that other people are also listening. Not the door. I'm not asking for the door po. No, I'm asking for the title of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and also this word which starts in C or K, no? This is a combination of prayer and dance. We do on the streets every feast day. Halimbawa, feast day ni Mama Mary, feast day ng Divine Mercy. We do this. We dance on the street to the tune of usually mga pandango. And then also in other places, sa water or sa dagat, they also do the fluvial parade, dancing also this kind of prayer and dance ritual. How do we call it? Yan. So, Reina de Caracol, no? Our Lady of Caracol. Yung pagsasayaw, no? Na sinasaliwan natin ng very local and tradition. Usually nga yung pandago sa ilaw and other yung mga mga old music yung ginagamit diyan. And then may step yan, medyo mabagal. So hindi yan ordinary na you walk, no? Minsan paatras mas two steps backward pa, tapos one step forward. So if you are one of these people who join the Caracol every feast day, I know in Silang, no, nakikita ko yan kahit mga barrio fiesta, people would go from other places, they would dance, and they are in their costumes, no, sa Divine Mercy, naka red and white costume pa sila na. Yung mga mahaba, no, the traditional dress that we do as Filipino costume, no, and then we dance, iba yung sayaw, no? Iba yung indak natin. And then carrying male or even female, no, would be carrying the icon, yung Mama Mary halimbawa, or kung sino man po yung nagpi-feast day. In this case, yung Reina de Caracol, may andas, we call it andas, no? Doon nakasakay, pinapangko, no? They carry the icon, tapos isinasayaw nila yan. So they move the image, no, in this type of dance dun sa Caracol. We call that Caracol. Okay, now this place also yung the parish, the diocesan shrine of the Holy Rosary, our Mother of the Holy Rosary. Ito din po yun, if you have if you have been parang 2 weeks ago, no, ito po yung pinapastol ni Father Fem Peregrino ba ang surname? Si Father Fem, no, who was kidnapped, and he is already recuperating thanks to all your prayers. All the people have prayed for Father Fem. Diyan po siya nagpapastol. He is the parish priest in that parish. Also, you'll notice yung Reina de Caracol, no, it is not actually a 3D image. It is parang Divine Mercy. It is a painted image. No, pininta po siya. And how did they find this? They find this one according to history. They were caught in a heavy storm, and when one of the sailors moved around, he saw this image. No, he didn't know that there was this image, and when he saw that image in the middle of a very turbulent storm, he prayed and said to save them, and if they would be saved, they would build a chapel in a place where they would be able to land. So, diyan sila nagland, no, safely. They landed safely in Rosario. Salinas po ang dating tawag sa lugar na yan. Salinas because uh, the people are producing salt, no? Yung salt asin. Sal is asin. So, dyan nagland. It is in that place that this seamen landed safely, and they built a chapel hanggang sa naging ganyan kalaki na yung simbahan nila. So the image has been very miraculous, providing miracles to all the people who are devoted to the Reina de Caracol. So painted image po siya, no? Again, hindi po siya isang 3D or isang rebulto. Okay, let's go to the next, to our fourth church.
Pintuan ng pastulan tungo sa buhay na walang hanggan. Ang daan, katotohanan at buhay. Sa pagparito namin sa banal na lugar na ito, manatili ka sa aming piling at takayin kami sa kahangahangang pag-ibig mo sa amin. Nagpapasalamat kami sa biyaya ng pananampalataya na inihandog sa aming bayan 500 taon na ang nakararaan. Tulungan mo kaming magsumikap sa mabungang pagtitika, pananampalatayang may kalakip na katarungan at pagmamalasakit sa kapwa, at pagindapating masigasig na maisabuhay ang aming pananampalataya. Ikaw na nabubuhay at naghahari kasama ng Ama at ng Espiritu Santo, magpasawalang hanggan. Amen.
Kasi ang parokya ay talaga nakatalaga sa Banana Cruz o Santa Cruz. Dahil yung dati ito yung tawag ay Santa Cruz de Malabon. Tapos sa alaunan, napahiwalay sa bayan ng Malabon at tinawag na Tansa. Kaya kung titignan natin yung Tansa ay wala sa binalitan na naging patron dito noon ay ang Santa Cruz de Malabon. Tapos sa history, nang matagpuan itong si San Agustin na naging malaking debosyon at yun ang malaking pinagpipiesta dito sa bayan ng Tansa. Kaya mas popular yung piyesta ni San Agustin na mas kilala sa Tataw's Day. At yung nandoong imahe, yun ang matandang imahe ni San Agustin dito sa Tansa. Noong July 31, 2011, nang ideklara ng parokya sa kapahintulutan ni Bishop Chito Tagle na ang maging patron ng parokya ay si San Agustin. So kaya yung kanyang titular ay Parokya ng Santa Cruz at ang patron ay si San Agustin. Noong bago mag-pandemic, ang misa rito talagang oras-oras. Di pa nakakapasok yung susunod, tapos na misa. Kaya nagkaroon ng interval para mayroong labas at pasok. At yung paghalik kay Tataw's Day sa imahen ay talagang hindi ito napuputol sa maghapon. Kaya pag piyasa, inilalabas yung imahen doon sa eskwelahan at doon pinapahalikan yung imahen. So, ganun kalaki yung devosyon. Ito yung sinasabi ni Father Tenny na 100 million na pinagagawa. Yan yung dati nandun sa dulo. Wala na yung papalitan yung altar at meron sila pag-aayos ng mga yero at kisame. Sa dapat na simbahan ng ating paglalakbay, ang hinihingi sa atin ay ang pagiging makakalikasan. So, nagaganit lang ako kapag nakakikita ko ng basura, kapag nakita ko ang mga tao na nagtatapon ng mga bagay na maaari pang gamitin. Sabi ni Mother Teresa ng Calcutta, paano ako makakatulong, makapagbahagi at maging produktibo sa pamayanan at sa buong sanlibutan. Sa mga konkretong gawain na hamon para sa atin, huwag na gumamit ng plastic at straw. Okay, tayo doon kanina, ano? So, plastic yung ginamit natin. Magsasagawa ko ng waste segregation sa bahay. Pag-iwalay ng mga basura. Magtanim ng gulay sa gamit na lata. Kunin ng isang bagay na hindi mo nagamit sa loob ng isang taon at ipamigay. At gumawa ng compost pit kasama ng isang kaibigan. Yung compost pit, yung mga tirang pagkain, pinaglalata ng mga gulay at prutas, yun ay pinaprocess para maging pataba. Tayo dadako naman sa ating ika-7 at ika-8 istasyon. Hanggang tayo sa dulo. Samo at gutom. Ngunit kailangan ng katuwan upang marating ang Kalbaryo, ang bundok ng
Alright. So, nasa na tayo, no? We are on the we just passed the 4th drop natin, no? That is the parish, the diocesan shrine and parish of Saint Augustine, one of the very popular saints in the Philippines, no? So makikita niyo yan kahit saan, no? Ang kanilang parokya, ang kanilang patron saint is Saint Augustine. Parang those who are really Catholics, no? Yan isa, kilala yan, no? Hindi nila kilalang ibang santo, pero yung si San Agustin, isa sa most famous saints for us Filipinos. Now, for our question again, as a recap, and for us to check if you have listened intently, I will have 2 questions. One is observation, based from observation. 2 is based on listening. The first question is, saan galing? Where did the word tansa came from? Where did it come from? What is the word that they base this place called Tansa? This diocesan shrine is in Tansa, Cavite. So, saan nanggaling ang salitang Tansa? Bakit nila tinawag na Tansa? Yes, thank you very much, Sister Marilyn. Correct, Santa. So, pag binaliktad mo siya, Tansa. So, that is where it came from. And then, their parish, sabi nga ni Father Eric, no, yung kanilang titular, their titular is Santa Cruz, Holy Cross. But their patron saint is Saint Augustine. Sabi nga niya, no, prior to the pandemic, every hour may misa. Kasi grabe po ang devotion. Grabe ang devotion ng mga tao kay San Agustin. No? At nag-overlap. No? Yung nagsisimula kasi every hour, halos kalahati noong oras, dumarating pa rin ng tao and then they would start the next mass. No? Kasi sunod-sunod, but yata ngayon ay binago na nila yung oras para hindi masyadong sikip, no, para may proper interval, because a lot of people are really going there and have bringing their own problems. So parang kaya po pumupunta doon for their devotion, for personal intentions. So that is the parish and the diocesan shrine of Saint Augustine. For the next question, ano yung nakikita niyong background? Ano yung color that because you do not see images, right? Ngayong panahon na to. What is the color of the cloth that wrapped all the images around the church? Sa lahat ng simbahan natin from day one, actually meron napuntahan kami, hindi pa sila nagbabalot, no? But in most of these churches that we visited, all the saints, all the images have already been wrapped. Ano ang kulay ng cloth that they use in wrapping the images? Yes, from Sister Gigi Dangan, violet. Correct, violet po, no? Because this is the color of the season, the Lenten season. So, bakit binabalot yung mga images, no? Bakit siya binabalot ng violet? Bakit wala tayong makita? Kaya medyo disappointing for some na gustong makita sana yung mga altar. Halimbawa, yung mga saints, yung mga images. Medyo disappointing for you who are watching this through this online pilgrimage. Disappointing kasi you do not see the images because they have already been wrapped. No, tradition po 'yan. During the Lenten season, binabalot talaga sila because we would like to focus on Jesus Himself. Wala tayong magiging ibang focus sa ating paglalakbay kundi si Jesus, no? Whether you are participating in the pilgrimage or you are doing your pilgrimage in your own parish, this is also called a pilgrimage. So the focus should be on Jesus alone. So kanyang passion and sa kanyang pagpapakahirap, no? Only kay Jesus. So everything else wala na natatakloban po muna siya. And then mabubuksan lang 'yan sa aalisin na lang po 'yan sa sa pagkabuhay na mag-uli, sa resurrection. All right? So we go to the next stop sa 5th Jubilee Church.
Mga konkretong pagkilos, magbasa o makinig ng balita, magbayad ng tama, tumawid sa tamang tawiran, tangkilikin ang lokal na produkto at mag-post sa social media ng isang panalangin para sa ikaayos ng ating bayan. So, ito'y para sa ating kulang ito, bumoto ng tama. No? So itong simbahan ito ay Diocese ng Dambana ng Immaculada Concepcion. Mga 200 something na rin yung edad ng simbahan. Ang patrona ay Immaculada Concepcion. Mas matanda ito kaysa sa Dasmariñas. No? At sa panahon ni Father Gani, nung ma-declare itong diocesan shrine, panahon ni Father George, at sa panahon ni Father Gani ay nagawang mosaic yung sahig. Yan ay hindi ordinaryong tiles. Yan ay mga dinurog na yung talagang sinukat, inayos. At hindi lang inabot at nagkaroon ng lipatan. Ang kisame ay rin ni Father Gani. Yan dati ay plain na kulay blue, ngayon ay dinudrawing hanggang doon sa taas, hanggang doon sa altar. Marmol sa lahat, Sa ikasyam na istasyon, hinubaran si Jesus ng damit, hinubaran ang kanyang kasuotan, inilabas ang kanyang tunay na pagkatao. Sa atin ay nakakahiyang kalagayan. Sa atin ay isang bagay na kalunos-lunos. Ngunit hindi lamang damit ang mahuhubaran, kundi dangal. Hindi lang kasuotan ang tinatanggal, kundi ang pagkatao. Ang pagkapako sa krus ay pagtatanghal din sa Kanya, sa bintang na binigay sa Kanya. Pagkapako na nagpatagal sa Kanya sa krus. Magkapako din ang ating pagkatao sa mga bagay na nagdadala sa atin sa kasalanan. Naway mapako tayo kay Jesus upang hindi tayo mawala sa kanyang mga biyaya at mga pagkalinga.
Okay, let's stop first.
Sa ika-anim na simbahan,
Let us stop first. Pause po muna ulit. Okay? Before we proceed to the next church, let us review what we have seen in the previous church, the Diocesan Shrine of Our Lady of Immaculate Conception. So this is dedicated to our Virgin, to the Blessed Virgin Mary. So for the question, if you have seen, nakita nyo yung ano nila, no, yung banner sa nakasabit sa dalawang side nila yan. So let us see. Give me, aside from panalangin, which you can clearly see, give me one thing that you can do sa panahon ng Semana Santa. There are other things. Yung iba nga may PPP pa yan, no? That starts with letter P. One is panalangin. What is one thing that we can do during this Lenten season? It is repeated in several homilies, no, the three things that we can do in this holy season. Ano-ano po yun? Just give me one. Aside from panalangin. Okay, let's wait for a while others are still typing. Medyo yung mga seniors natin hindi nakaka-participate. No? Paano ko ba sasagutin to? Paano ba ako mag-comment? So, sorry po, no? But they will learn sa mga 3 a.m. nga namin, yung mga seniors, they are pangingilin. Okay? Pangingilin ba is, anong sa English yun? So, is it yung ano ba? Yun ba yung abstinence and fasting? Tama ba yun? Pagninilay. Pagninilay is panalangin. So we can equate that as in panalangin. But one of the things that we can do is pag-aayuno or fasting and abstinence. No, yung pag-aayun, yung pagpa-fasting, yun yung you are taking konti lang ng pagkain, no? Fasting. Taking only a little amount of food and water lang, you survive on that. But when you abstain, you are abstaining from something like halimbawa doing sex if you are married, or you're abstaining from eating so much sweets or anything that na you can abstain from. No, yung ina-abstain mo things of this world. Halimbawa kung shopping ka ng shopping, you abstain from shopping, and then what you save from shopping is you do. So nagkakawang gawa ka. So nag-alms giving tayo o paglilimos. So those are the things that we can do in the season of Lent. And this is very much shown in this church, no, doon sa parokya at Diocesang Dambana ng Immaculada Concepcion, and this can be found in Naik, Cavite. Okay, let's proceed to the next church.
Sa huling sandali ni Jesus, kanyang ipinagkatiwala ang mga alagad na minamahal sa kanyang mahal na ina upang gabayan. Tayo rin ay niya upang hindi tayo
This is already the last church. Parang, or is it my signal? Hindi ko napanood siya ng buo. The 6th church na pinuntahan natin. Okay ba? Parang wala tayong, sa akin walang sound eh.
Katiwala ang mga alagad na minamahal.
Okay, so I will just discuss this briefly. This church, the 6th church.
Tayo rin ay habili ni Jesus sa kanyang ina upang tayong gabayang manatiling tapat at sumusunod sa kanyang mga aral. Naway magpaakay tayo kay Maria upang hindi tayo maligaw ng landas at patuloy tayo makasunod sa landas ni Jesus.
So the previous church, the sixth stop that we did was in Our Lady of the Assumption Parish Church in Maragondon. So marami po dito sa Maragondon na pwede tayong, kung if you are also a nature lover, you can visit some of their nature-inspired resorts. No? In Maragondon, in this place, okay. Ayan, makita nyo, ito yung altar nila, no? Yan yung altar nila. Hindi pa yan ako-cover. So this is the only church that we visited that still has to wrap the images. So yung kanilang altar. Others have already wrapped with violet cloth. Etong kanilang altar ay nakita pa natin ang kagandahan. We witnessed the beauty of their retablo. Retablo is that yung nasa altar nila, yung parang background. That is what we call retablo. And in the retablo, you will see different images. And then you will also see the designs, no? Sa palipaligid niya. Very intricate yung mga designs. This is very popular in the Baroque. Yung ganyan design, no, is of Baroque, B-A-R-O-Q-U-E, Baroque architecture. No? Yan ganyan. And this is prominent in the older church ng mga 16th hanggang 18th century. When during the time dinala sa Pilipinas yung mga ganyang designs ng mga Kastila. So the Spaniards brought this design, this architecture design. That is why most of our old churches are in a Baroque inspired churches. So ayan, makikita natin yung isang uri ng isang peculiar with the Baroque architecture is that retablo design. Also, pag may mga belfry, no, makikita niyo may sarili siyang kampanaryo, yung mataas na pinaglalagyan ng bell. Okay. So that is the parish and the parish church of Our Lady of the Assumption, also dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary. So mapapansin nyo na yung mga theme natin in every church, may mga theme, no? So makakalikasan, makabuhay, no? And also, apart from the theme, merong sinasabi, merong concrete actions that we can do. That is why when you have your passport, you will be reminded of the things that you can do actually, no? Mga simple lang like praying for a person or posting one good message in the social media wall natin, no? And then exposing the truth rather than the fake news, no? Or simply eating with the family. So yun yung mga concrete actions that we can do even before and after this pilgrimage. So, you take care of the big passport, nandun po yun, nakasulat yung mga concrete actions that we can do. You can just choose one or you can do all of them. Hindi naman in one day, no? But you can do that in, you will plan this out. So, for this day, I will do this. On the next day, I will do that. So, in that way, you are doing yourself the purification process, no? Because you are cleansing yourself, you are cleansing your soul by doing certain things that would make you glow, no? Magliliwanag ka. Kasi halimbawa, when you talk to a friend who is, you comfort a friend who is having difficulty at this moment, you are providing light to that person. So that has a purificatory effect. Very relevant to the pilgrimage. So we enter the last church, our last itinerary for our pilgrimage, the seventh church.
Sa ikapitong simbahan, ang ating tema ay may pananagutan at pakikisangkot sa pinagpanibagong lipunan. Pagnilayan natin ang temang ito. Dahil dito, palakasin ninyo ang loob ng bawat isa at magtulungan kayo tulad ng ginagawa ninyo ngayon. Mulat ba ako sa sitwasyon ng lipunan? Handa ba akong magbigay ng sarili para sa aking kapwa? Ang mga konkreto nating pagkilos: una, kumain kasabay ang pamilya nang hindi ginagamit ang cellphone. Pangalawa, suportahan ang mabuting advokasya sa inyong barangay o bayan. Kamustahin, ikatlo, ang isang kakilala na nagtatrabaho at ipagdasal siya sa gabi bago matulog. Ikaapat, maghanap ng ibang tao na hindi mo kakilala at sabihin, magdarasal ako mamaya. May nais ka bang isama sa aking pananalangin? At ipagdasal. So itong ikalima, hindi na ito. No? So maaaring ang gawin na natin ay bumoto tayo batay sa ating konsensya, batay sa ating discernment o pagsusuri.
Okay, sa bawat Jubilee Churches na matatapos sa pagtatapos ng Jubilee Churches, tayo ay bibigyan ng mission cross na ito ay paalaala para sa atin na ating mission para ngayong Jubilee year, na tayo ay inaatasan na makibahagi sa ginawang pagliligtas ni Jesus sa Panginoon ay dahil yan biyaya na itinagkaloob sa atin na walang iba kundi ang ating pananampalataya. Sumainyo ang Panginoon. Naway ang krus na ito'y maging tanda ng ating, siyang tanda ng ating pananampalataya, ang patuloy na magpaalam sa ating puso at damdamin itong sa gayon, tayo ay patuloy na maging kasangkapan ng pagliligtas ng Diyos at ang biyaya ng pananampalataya na itinatalaw sa atin ay ating ipinahagi na siyang handog sa atin at handog natin para sa kalimang taon ng ating pananampalataya. Pagpalain na huwag pabanalin ang mga krus na ito ay susunod natin at ilayo tayo sa lahat ng kahinaan at paglalagay ng pananampalataya. Hinihiling namin ito sa pamamagitan ng Kristo, aming Panginoon.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. So we have reached the final destination of our pilgrimage to the seventh church, the parish church of Saint Gregory the Great in Indang, Cavite. No? For those who would like to visit the church, it's also a church. It used to be under Silang, no? Kasi pinapakalaking bayan ng Silang, and when Indang separated, they built their own church. So it is in the upland area of Cavite. Nice weather also. So at the end of the journey, we will be rewarded with the mission cross. Yung mission cross na binigay sa atin, alphabet na natin, yung modern alphabet. But in some mission cross, ang nakaukit ay yung alibata, no? The alibata letters. Yun yung sinauna nating alphabet. No, but in our case, ano na to, no, yung letters now of the Filipino alphabet. No, so you will get that. So from the first stop, from the first church that you would be visiting, you will get your passport, you will have it stamped, and at the end of the journey, your reward is the mission cross. I was very touched actually with the mission cross, no. Nagtitinda tayo niyan nabibili yan in any church, no. Pero when you did pala the pilgrimage and you received that cross, iba yung meaning niya, no? Kasi parang wala lang, pag yung tinitinda-tinda lang at walang masyadong, but you try to do the journey, you try to do the pilgrimage, and you receive that cross, iba po, no? Iba yung feeling, iba yung pakiramdam. Especially when you, actually, I'm wearing it right now, no? This is the mission cross, no, na binigay sa atin at the end of the journey. So we did this pilgrimage as part of our preparation for the feast. Saan ba lulundo? Saan yung climax? No? Saan lulundo ang ating journey? Our journey does not end here. The pilgrimage does not end here. We will still have to travel. We will still have to tread the path towards salvation. So we will still have the Resurrection Sunday and then the Feast of Mercy. This is the relationship of the Divine Mercy devotion. We go into the pilgrimage, and at the end of the road, we will experience the great grace of the Divine Mercy for all of us. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the people who have participated in this journey. We have Father Eric Orculio, the parish priest of the Divine Mercy Parish, and also the spiritual director of the Divine Mercy Apostolate in the Diocese of Imus, for conducting and for being the pilgrimage coordinator, and for the guidance, and for all the inputs that he had shared to us. Unexpected po yun. It is not really scripted. So everything has been provided, the content for this journey. And also would like to thank Father Temi Lumandas, and also Hazel Eyes Photography for the pictures. If not for them, wala po din tayong materials. And all the people along the way na nakasalamuhan natin, the drivers of the vans, and all those people that we have came to know in our journey. We'll see you again next week, next Wednesday, for another episode here at the hour of 3. This time, we will be bringing you the Diocesan Secretariat of the Divine Mercy Apostolate in the Diocese of Imus. And again, also, Father Eric will be joining us for a brief also video, because 3 o'clock is the same Mass that we do at the Divine Mercy Church. So he will have a pre-recorded video for all of us. And the Divine Mercy Secretariat will be joining us live. Thank you very much for all of you for staying with us. Quite mahaba, no? Mahaba ang ating program for today. We're supposed to be having this for only an hour. We finished at 4:27, so almost 1.5 hours for us. Thank you for staying with us this morning. God bless all of us.
Amen.
The preceding was a paid program. The views and opinions expressed do not reflect those of Talk Live channel.